Alright, hi. This is a video for how to fill out a daily inspection worksheet for diesel electric locomotives and locomotive cranes and forms of 862. It covers the locomotive brake test, initial a 16 part process, a straight air brake test, and then some assembly drawings of the different items. Alright, the daily inspection locomotive, you have your items repairs for need, operator report, corrected, clean it, you clean it if it's clean, yes or no, lube oil pressure number 1 and number 2, water temperature number 1 and number 2, battery and meter number 1 and 2, load meter 1 and 2, main reserve air pressure, equalizing reserve pressure, brake pipe pressure, control air pressure, signature road inspector, signature operator. Item 1 is lubrication complete, lubricating in accordance with the applicable DA lubrication order. Number 2 is check and replenish water supply, fuel, battery, water, sand, and wheel flange lubricator, horns, bells, lights, and windshield, brake equipment, sanders and shutters, etc., cooling fan, couplers, locks, levers, brake rigging, pins, brake shoes, brake cylinders, piston travel, cab heater, standby heater, boards, doors, grab irons, and safety devices, loose electric wires, loose bolts, nuts, and pins, all hoses and belts, leaks for in the fuel and lube system, cooling system, air system, or intake and exhaust system, wheel and journal, drain moisture, air reserve, and intercoolers, drain airflow, and check operation, crankcase, and uh, exchanger, and also check for unusual noise. Then over here, these are kind of the more crane ones that I didn't do, the crane items such as, but there is a basic check, engine warm up, friction clutches, air operation clutches, turntable, boom, hoisting, and uh, um, rollers and pins and cables and sheaths and hooks and bucket and transmission or more, railroad crane. Like I said, this is the daily inspection worksheet for diesel electric locomotives and locomotive cranes. Alright, the following features are not featured: the drain air box, check operators, the crank exit, officer, check for unusual noise, check armor, engine warm up, check friction, clutches, check air operated clutches, check turntable, check booms, hoisting, brakes, roller pins and cable sheaves, hooks and buckets, and transmission. Alright, lubrication order. This one's done for the lubrication diesel, 56.5 inch gauge, 80 ton, 674 horsepower. It's a 0440 model, number BB160 164 GE 747A, number SN 220 2210 01 158 298. Reference manual TM 552210 FSCC 912. Intervals on condition of hard time and related to the man hours and based on the normal operation of the hours specified in the time that needed to do all the prescribed particular intervals. On the condition all sample intervals are applied unless changed in the joint oil analysis program laboratory. Change in hard time intervals, your lubricants and contaminated, or if operating for the equipment adversity operating condition, including longer than use of operation hours. The hard time interval may exceed during periods of low activity and extended adequate preservation precautions must be taken. Hard time intervals will be applied for the joint oil analysis program. Laboratory support is not available. Warning: dry cleaning and fluid is flammable. Do not use flammable. Excessive heat use only when adequate ventilation. Avoid prolonged breathing of vapors and minimizing skin contact. Clean the fittings with the lubrication, clean the parts and around with the filler holes and dry cleaning solvent type 2 or equivalent dry before lubricant. Lubrication points indicated with the dotted arrow shown on both sides of the equipment. Lubricating after the washing. Normal drain cases when hot and fill and check level. The lowest level of the maintenance authorized lubricating oil point is indicated with only the following: operator, crew, unit maintenance, intermediate, direct support. That's C, O, and F. Um, uh, You can help improve this publication if you find any mistakes, and if you want to improve the procedure, please let us know. You can write a letter to the DA Form 228, recommendation chase and public change. Then blank form should be mailed directly to the Commander, U.S. Army Troop Support Command, ATTN. Attention, AMSTR MCTS 430, Goodfellow Boulevard, St. Louis, Missouri 631207998. A reply will be furnished to you. Total man hours. D is 1.2 hours, M is 2.0 hours, Q is 1.5, S is a tenth of an hour, and B is 10 hours. Alright, starting with the engine oil dipstick and the gauge, you check and maintain the high level for the first and check one each engine, dipstick for each engine marked. The engine crank filler case is also shown on the HCO. Add oil as needed to maintain the high level mark. And number 3, the lower part says engine crankcase drain. One each engine. Open the drain valve and drain the oil. See notes 3, 4, and 5. Engine oil filters or drains and strain fillers. Oil filter replacement interval shall align with the condition of the joint oil analysis program. Hard time oil change requirements. See notes 4 and 5. At the oil change drain and clean the engine lube oil filters, strainer housing, sump pumps, interior crankcase, drain and dry. Repair parts, replace filter elements, replenish the oil supply. Approximately 10.5 gallons of engine oil. The HCO fill the high level mark on the dipstick. Check the engine oil filters, valve covers, and filter strainer housing, seals, and fitness. Tightness, straight and running engines, replenishing oil supplied to the high level mark. 4. Engine oil. A sample of the oil shall be sent to the Joint Oil Analysis Program for the analysis of the interval of 24 at an interval of 25 hours or 30 days. Refer to the AR 700-132 for sampling requirements of the Joint Analysis Petroleum Laboratory Support. Support is not available. Drain for refill crankcase oil at every 500 hours. Alright, this shows your reserve air cylinder, C note 10, and the reverser. Apply a few drops to the oil light bushings. 10. The reverser air cylinder. Remove the piston and annually cleanly apply the light coat of grease to the GPS, to the cylinder walls, and piston packing cup. Alright, your battery terminals. Clean off all the corrosion. Apply a light coat of the grease. Your truck center plate, one each truck. The truck center plate, when condition of the graphite lubrication, indicates replacing lubricator. This is where the oil dipstick, the crankcase filler, and the crankcase drain is to your left, and the reverser air falling to the right. The reverse air cylinder, the reverser, the battery terminals, and the truck center plate. Alright, this is your brake slack adjuster. 4 fittings for each truck. Apply the few drops of exposed threads. The door hinges also need to be oiled. See note 2. Handbrake chain roll guide 0. Apply for the handbrake chain roll. Apply 2 to 3 drops each point. Handbrake sheaths. Apply 2 to 3 drops each point. Truck journal pedestal. Apply 4 pair each truck. Apply several drops at the top of each liner as needed. Roller bearings. 9. Roller bearings are no field lubrication. If the end of the cap is equipped with lubricating fitting, remove the replace the non-removable plug. From left to right, you see the brake slack adjuster, the door hinges, the handbrake chain roller, the handbrake and sheaves, and the truck journal pedestal liners and roller bearings. Alright, your engine oil filter has two each engine. See note 3. Engine oil filters, drains, and strainers. Oil filter replacers shall align with the oil on condition with the Joint Oil Analysis Program. Hard time oil change requirements. See notes 4 and 5 at the oil change drain. Cleaning, engine oil lubrication, strainers, housing, sump pumps, interior crankcases, drain dry, parts replace, filter elements, replenish oil supply with approximately 10.5 gallons of engine oil, OHE or HCO. Fill the high level of the mark on the dipstick. Check the engine oil drain filters, valve covers, and filter strainer housing seals for the tightness. Start them, run the engine, replenish the oil supply for the high level mark. Alright, your brake rigging on the apply a few drops to the pins and bushings. Brake cylinder lever, apply a few drops to the pin The CC brake cups, coat the brake grease on the brake cup inside the brake cylinder in accordance with the AAR regulations. All right, your coupler, carrier, and striker, one on each end of apply light and coat the grease as needed, and GAA knuckle pin locking head in the pin, light coat of the grease is needed. From left to right, you have the coupler, striker, the knuckle, and the knuckle pin locking and head and pin. You have the brake cylinder, the brake cups, the brake rigging, and the engine oil filters. Here's a picture of a bell ring. Apply a few drops to the fulcrum of the pin. Air compressor, one each end. See the note 7. Air compressor, semi-annual drain, refill, bring to the full mark, compromise, compress oil, level, dipstick gauge, operate compressor 5 minutes, check for leaks, recheck oil level, and bring to the proper level and cleaning strainer. Alright, your main generator, armature bearing, one generator each end, 1 point, apply 1 to 2 pumps from grease gun. Your traction motor gears, there should be 2 motors for each truck, checking the maintaining oil level within 1/4 inch bottom of the level plug opening. Your 8 traction motor gears, annually drain oil and gear unit, remove oil, then plan and clean out old oil and sludge, fill out the GO oil with 1/4 inch of oil level in the plug. From left to right, you see the traction motor gears, the main generator, armature, the air compressor, and the bell ringer. Lubricating intervals for detailed air compressor. The M stands for the air intake. Remove and clean and immerse in oil and drain excessive install crankcase cover plate. Add the oil and change. Remove clean pump screen sludge from the slate. From the plate, replace plate, crankcase, drain, and refill the correct valve, fill, and then from the left of the interval lubrication, crankcase breather, remove, clean, and replace oil filter, and as needed, maintain oil level. OEHG oil level dipstick gauge, check daily, maintain level of the full mark. Alright, your lubrications are your OHED, lubricating engine oil and crankcase, 10.5 gallons, air compressor, 7.5 quarts. You're going to be using 1540 weight for above 32 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and OE for 0 to 65 degrees, negative to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, the lubricating oil, gear pressure, motor, traction motor takes 22 quarts. All the greases and lubrication oils have no capacity but run at all temperatures. Your intervals are given in the normal operation: daily at 10 hours, monthly 100 hours, quarterly 3 months or 2,450 hours, semi-annually 6 months or 500 hours, 12 annually 12 months at 1,000 hours, biannually at 24 months or 200 hours. Once again, we're going to go over all the notes for operating the equipment in protracted cold temperature below 10 negative degrees, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Remove the lubrication prescribed in the key temperature is above negative 40 degrees. Please clean the parts dry, solvent lubricating with the lubrication specified with the keys temperature 0 to negative 65 degrees Fahrenheit. 2 oil can points, bullet monthly, lubricate all the hinges, latches, pins, and cleaves and springs and exposed with the threaded surfaces of the HEO oil, accepting the similar requiring for the other lubrication shown on the charts. 3 engine oil filters and drains and strainers. Oil filter replacement intervals shall be aligned within on-condition joint analysis program. Hard time oil change requirements. See note 4 and 5. The oil change, drain, and cleaning engine oil filters, strain housing, and some pumps, interior crankcase, drain, dries parts of the replacement filter elements, replenishing the oil supply approximately 10.5 engine oil. OHEO high level mark on the dipstick, checking the engine oil and the drain filters valve cover, the filter, straining housing and seals and the tightness, and the starting of the running and replenishing the oil supply. The high level mark the engine oil. A sample of the oil shall be sent to the joint analysis program and analysis at intervals to 25 hours to 30 days at the AR, and refer to the AR 700-132. The sampling requirements. The joint analysis program laboratory support is not available. Drain and refill the crankcase oil at 500 hours. The truck center plate, when conditioned, the graphite lubrication indication, replace the lubricator. 7 air compressor, semi-annual, drain and refill. Bring the full mark of the oil on the compressor oil level. The dipstick on. Operate the compressor for 5 minutes. Check for the leaks and recheck the oil level, and then bring it to the proper level of the clean strainer. 8. The traction motor gears, annual drain oil in the gear unit, and they remove oil pan and clean out an oil level sludge will go within 1/4 of an inch in oil level to 9. Roller bearings, no field lubrication. If the end was equipped with lubricating fitting, removing and replace the non-removable plug. 10. The reverser of the air cylinder will remove the piston annually, clean and apply the light coat of the grease, the GPS, the cylinder walls, piston and packing in the cup. Copy this lubrication order will remain within the equipment of all times. Instructions contained herein are mandatory by order of the Secretary of Army Carl E. Vano, General United States Army Chief of Staff. Official R.L. Dilworth, Brigadier General of the United States Army Adjutant General. Distributions to be distributed in accordance with the DA Form 1225A. Operating units maintenance requirements of the locomotive 80-ton mode 112 5708. All right. Moving on. We're going to do a stationary brake test. I'm going to cut the video and do a couple different parts.